All right. Real talk. We're gonna have a real talk. When I'm saying real talk, I think anyone who knows me knows damn well it's gonna be a real talk. No, this isn't scripted like anything I ever do, obviously. But I have been thinking about it. I'll say all day. I mean, I've been thinking about making this video for a bit, and the topic I've been thinking about pretty much my whole life. Um, Now, I had a choice. I could either make this video or not make this video. And, well, I guess the truth is I have not been making this video the whole time, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and make it. While we're talking about that, it's going to, me deciding to just go ahead and make this video is going to be kind of akin to another video I made about 2 years ago called Random Thoughts Number One. Now, I made that video and I just watched it again just to refresh my memory on what I say in it. And it's kind of a cringy start, but it's also true. Like what I say in it is true in the beginning. And in fact, the things I say throughout the video and up to the end of it are things that have only gotten worse in this world throughout the 2 years since I made the video by a lot. So I wanted to make sure I stand by everything I say, and not only do I stand by it, but I think I was too easy and too gentle with what I say. Um, and my point of bringing up this video is that even when I made that video, I got so much flack from my own friends I've known for 20 years, give or take. Maybe some more and some less, whatever. Anyway, my friends of 20 years gave me a lot of shit for that. Uh, they would go as far as call me an incel, but which that's a loaded word as it is, right? Talk about a word that has so many mutated definitions and thus has no definition at all whatsoever. It's kind of like calling people a Nazi because you voted for Trump. It's like shut the fuck up. Like these words end up meaning nothing. Um, while we're on the topic of that, I can't wait for YouTube to probably delete this video or hide it from uh, ever being seen. It doesn't matter. I mean, no one's going to watch this anyway. It's going to be, what, five? I'm going to have 5 views, and it's going to be Santee, Fire, Blade, and two other people. I don't know. Pick who it is. No one watches my shit, especially not my serious shit. But this is, as everything on here, I'm making this for me. Because it's one of those things where it's in me. It's on my chest, to put it lightly, because it's way more than that. And I either, trust me, making this video is the better option. So anyway, so I got a lot of flack about this video, and I've set it to private. I don't delete anything, not really on this on my quote unquote channel. Anyway, um, I don't like that I did that. I had long forgotten about this video, but since I decided to make this video, which by the way, buckle in, because I don't know how long I'm gonna ramble on for, and it's gonna be about shit no one wants to hear about. And I might even slip in more things than the main topic, just while I'm sitting here rambling, right? Anyway, I took the video down, and I'm kind of mad at myself for having done that. So I'm gonna put it back up because I still believe in that. Everything I said, it's still true, and I'm mad that I took it down at all in the first place. Because I mean, if anyone knows me, can tell you, I mean, I'm very resilient to public pushback, to say the least. But there are a couple times where I have caved to it, and I'm not happy about it. This video is one of them, so I'm putting it back up. And the other video that I actually did, I think I took it down for a moment and then I put it back up, is the DBD videos of all things, right? About the Che or Shay streamer, whatever how you pronounce it, where she acted like a victim. She played innocent, blah blah blah, and it was total bullshit. And I stand by everything I say in that too. Of course, it's like a 30-minute and a 40-minute video or whatever the hell it is. It might be like 15 and 30, I don't know. Their videos are too long. I wish I had shortened them down. But I mean, I stand by those as well. But those are another example of me going against the societal norms, quote unquote, I guess we'll call it, and backing down because of pushback. And maybe I never took those videos down. I don't remember, if I'm being honest, but I know that they're currently up, so I don't even have to fix anything. I don't have to change my error and go and put it back up because it's already still up right now. And I'm not going to ever put that down because I stand by everything there. But this kind of goes into the topic I'm going to talk about here. And part of the problem is that you can never talk about anything. I guess we'll jump into it. The main topic I want to talk about here is, of course, suicide. Now, anyone who knows me personally, especially, knows it's no secret. This is something that's been on my mind for a long time. If I'm being honest, I haven't been happy in my life since I was 5 years old. Yeah, in terms of suicide, I don't know when I've started thinking about that, but if I were to guess, probably my early 20s, like early, like I mean, 20, maybe. I don't know exactly. Now, shut the fuck up. Calm down, if you will. No, not that anyone fucking cares. Not really. No one really cares. And that's part of what I'm going to talk about, as long as I remember to in my ramblings. No one really cares. It's an act. You put on the act to act like you care. Because no one cares that you're miserable and you want to be dead. No one cares about that. They only care about if you might do something about it, right? No, that's all of a sudden everyone cares. And then once you're off of that, then everyone backs away again. You're on your own again. Anyway, what was I saying? Because I didn't want to get into that yet. So I'll get into that again later, I hope, if I remember. Because that's a whole fucking thing I want to talk about. But yeah, so anyway, anyone who knows me knows that's been a thing on my mind. Um, right. So anyway, so it's a thing that's on my mind, but it's never something you can talk about. And that's the problem. Because nothing is a genuine conversation when you're talking about this kind of thing. And so suicide is something even recently, probably within this year, or not this year of 2025, but within this year of within 12 months from today, is something that I really thought I was about to do. And I have my method and my plan and everything. I have a few ways that I could do it. And of course, I'm a smart person. There is no try with me. If I'm going to do it, if I step out my door with that and with the intention, I will get the job done. I will do it in ways where it's multi-layered, where simultaneously there's about three different things happening that can kill me. And if one fails while I'm unconscious, then a few other things will still be able to kick in, and trust me, I will be dead. If I want to get it done, it will get done. And that's, again, part of what I want to talk about. Well, real quick, that being said, people who like to say, oh, it's the easy way out, it's not. That's one of the most wrong things you can say. It's obviously not. And that's part of, again, what I want to talk about. I think that's the brainwashing speaking. It's not the easy way out. That is the single hardest decision a person can make ever on the planet. There is not a single decision you can make in the entire possibility of anything that's harder than that. All right? We all know this is the only life you get. None of us really even believe in the afterlife. That's another topic that I'd be happy to get into in another video, but no one actually believes in that shit. Everyone wants to, but I mean, like I said, that's another topic. But cutting to the end of that, yeah, we know nobody really believes in that shit. So that being said, when you're dead, you're dead. And when you're dead, nothing can get better. You won't be around to see better times. You also won't be around for worse times. It's a neutral thing, and it just depends on your own trajectory, right? But anyway, point being, everyone knows when you're done, you're done. Making the decision to be done early is not an easy decision. It is, again, like I said, it's the hardest decision in the fucking universe to ever make for yourself. Make no mistake. And you all know it's true. Everyone knows that's true. Just no one wants to say that because it's part of the brainwashing. Because the quote unquote the system, I don't know, whoever it is that decided to put this in everyone's head, they don't want you dead. They want you to be alive because that way you're, a working bee. You can stay in the workforce, make them money. They don't want anyone dead. You say, "Oh, I'm gonna kill myself." Everyone puts you on suicide watch, right? But what good does that do? Where's quality of life watch? You'll notice there's no such thing as that. They don't care how low you are. They don't care if you're at the bottom, if you're the worst you've ever been, the worst you ever can possibly be. They don't care about that as long as you're alive and working. They try to get you up to the level where you're working, even if it's bare minimum. But if you slip below that and you try to get out of the world altogether, they don't like that. No, they have the safety net for that. They don't want that to happen. They'll bump you up just enough to keep working. And that brainwashing has, affected everyone, really. Like I said, you're listening to this, you're just going, oh, you're putting on the performative worrying, even though no one's ever coming to me saying, how you doing, you put on the performative bullshit. Don't even worry about that. Chances are I'm never going to actually commit suicide. Oh no, I said it. Now YouTube's gonna kill me, metaphorically and ironically. Anyway, don't worry, I'm not gonna do it, and the reason is because I'm just not strong enough. I'm too weak to do it, and I know that, and I acknowledge that about myself. I do hope and wish someday I overcome it. Of course, if I'm making wishes, that's not the wish I would make, but you know what I mean. So don't worry, that's not happening. There are two things in this world I'll probably never do, and both of them are because of brainwashing. One is suicide, and two is, I guess, say the N-word. It's funny, I was thinking about this, and it's such a stupid thing, but it's like, I don't agree with it, either one of them. Like going into the N-word real quick, just as a more lighthearted analogy, but these concepts, I don't, it doesn't matter. It's not offensive. It's just not offensive. No one's especially if you're saying it. You can't be, all right. I mean, like I said, this is real talk, so we're just getting into it. You can't be black and say the N-word all the time to each other and then act like you're offended when a white person says it. That's obviously double standards are just stupid in general, but even just fundamentally talking about it, it does mean that you are not offended by the word. It's that simple. You're just not offended. You can't be all chill, haha, it's so funny, you're saying it with your friends, and then someone else says it, and now you're serious face, and oh, it brings back trauma, or and what are we even talking about? This is, again, a whole other topic, but I'm bringing it up right now because, first of all, it's a big topic for me. I have strong feelings about this, about the N word. I don't care about bad words in general. They're all self-fulfilling prophecies. Why is fuck the, quote unquote, the worst bad word ever? What, other than, I guess, the N word. Why? It's the word with the least definition. If I say, what the fuck is that? The word fuck has absolutely no definition whatsoever. So how can it even be a bad word at all? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. The whole thing doesn't make sense. Bad words in general. But then moving over to the N word, it's I don't agree with that either. And it's just a manipulation tool. But again, maybe I'll talk about that some other time if I'm still alive, which I unfortunately probably will be. But anyway, point being, I've been brainwashed to not say it. So even though I so strongly disagree with it being considered such a Voldemort word, I still just have it in my brain so hard that I won't say it. And I would love to just be able to overcome that. But not just me. I hope the whole world overcomes that because it's bullshit. I can say cracker right now. YouTube won't give a fuck. Right? But saying literally the words, the N-word, you know? And just because I say that, YouTube might crack down on me. That's a crazy world to live in. And people don't like talking about it because blah, blah politics. But real talk, you know? I mean, it is really the left, I'm going to say, in the two-party system that at least America has. It really is those on the left that, I mean, that's another fucking topic. Yeah, you guys are fucking psychotic. But anyway, and a lot of my problems come from that. By the way, I mean everything is connected. Everything's connected. God knows everything is fucking connected, dude. Yes, politics is connected to all of the things I'm talking about here. Not saying any one thing is the cause of another thing, but they are all connected. The fucking turkey sandwich you ate today is probably connected to politics or the N word in some way. You know what I mean? It's like everything's fucking connected in this world. Anyway, anyway, I don't even know what I was saying. Oh yeah, so it's like two things I won't do, and that is one is say the N word because I've just been brainwashed against it, and so it goes against the coding of my brain. Like I can feel that, like it's, and I don't agree with it, but it's still there. It really is brainwash. It really is. Like it's like I'm Winter Soldier, right? And like they're saying the code phrases, Alpha Tango Delta, whatever the hell it was. Yeah, I don't know, but it's like it's the same thing. And then so number two is commit suicide, and it's like they're both kind of for the same reason because of the brainwashing. But it's a little bit with the suicide. It's a little different too, because I mean, like I said, I'm just not strong enough. I'm not brave enough to really do it. Probably, even though, and remember, I've thought about this for probably my whole life. There are ways to do it to kind of alleviate the filters of the not brave, not strong enough to do it. There are ways I could probably still manage to do it, but there's still even. It's like. Here's the thing, people like to say it's the easy way out. The easy way out is actually waking up every day, getting through the day, and going to bed at night. That's the easy way out. Doing this every day until you die of old age. It's a slow burn, it's 1,000 cuts, but it's also it's doing nothing. It's way easier to die that way than it is to stand up and be like, well, I'm not an idiot. I can see the trajectory of my life and the world around me, because that's what it's also about. It's not just about you. It's not just about, pick yourself up by the bootstraps, fix the problems. No, because no one, first of all, I mean, and I get into this argument a lot with people, no one person is the majority in control, the majority of the control in their life. You are not the majority control of your own life. The rest of the world is, by far. And to even disagree with that is extremely arrogant and self-centered, and yeah, it is kind of just a crazy statement to think that you are more in control of your life than the rest of the world. But anyway. And that's not even to say anyway to brush that off, because that is part of like the problem, right? Like, man, if I could just stand up, if I could just get out of bed, work really hard, and then be rich, then like go to the gym and work out and be ripped, and then what? And then like meditate and be taller. You know what I mean? Like if I could just work at all the things that women want, that's all right. And that's kind of the source of all my problems. So it's kind of surprised I'm only just now mentioning women, right? That's why I want to die. Women are the reason I want to die. What was I talking about before that? Before I even get into this whole can of worms. What was I saying? Blah blah. Two things I won't do: N-word and suicide, right? Because of the brainwashing. And yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, okay, good enough time to get into it, I guess, right? And this is something that you can't talk to people about, and this is why I'm making a goddamn YouTube video I mean, right now I'm just recording it. I don't know if I'll upload it, but I mean, honestly, fuck it. Why not? Fuck it. What do I have to lose anyway? It's not like I can do damage to my brand. No one watches my fucking channel. No one gives a fuck about me. So yeah, I mean, I might as well do it. That way I can feel like I actually said it instead of recording this video and deleting it. I'll just record it and upload it. That way I'm actually talking, right? I mean, that makes sense. Anyway, um, so it's like, anyone I talk to, it's just nothing but dismissiveness. And I mean, in this, the problem is because it kind of is political again. It's semi-political, semi other things, maybe socio-political, things like that. But it's like because my problem is with women, because of that alone, I mean, I can just say that sentence, and all of a sudden people are throwing the word incel at me, right? So if I talk to my friends, it's blah blah, you're an incel. I've tried to talk to my father about this, what it's like in the modern, because he's like what, 50 or 60, whatever, right? He obviously doesn't know what it's like in modern day. He's been married all his life, right? What the fuck does he know about trying to get women these days? And it's like I talked to him about it, and he's just like, well, I don't even know what he just says, some dismissive shit about like I'm doing things wrong. Talk to my grandparents, it's the same thing. My grandma will tell me, well, uh I must not be meeting people. It's like, man, I'm fucking in a couple days I'm 37 years old. I promise you, I've met a lot of people. And I've never been afraid to ask anyone out. Well, maybe I am, maybe in recent years. Not afraid necessarily, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not just like the worst you can say is no. First of all, I've been told ew, gross, first of all. So the worst she can say is definitely not no. But also, I have literally the most recent person that I was interested in, or sorry, second most, I guess. She threatened to report me to management and to ruin. She said, I can ruin your life if I want to. That's what she said to me. This is real life, man. This isn't just like, and that's another thing. My dad likes to say, "Oh, I got all my opinions from watching some podcast," because he's a lefty, he's a hard lefty. So what do they do? Well, the news stations say that everyone gets their opinions from like Andrew Tate and stuff. Ooh, the boogeyman. I don't even know anything Andrew Tate says. I'll tell you one thing though, he's not always wrong. I don't care if he is a sex trafficker. That Hitler drank water. Like is it wrong to drink water? Like shut the fuck up, you fucking psychopaths, with your like person is bad and everything they say is wrong or whatever. Like I don't know. The whole there was actually a term for it, and I just don't remember what it's called. Like you can't talk to anybody about these problems, especially depending what the problem is. Some problems you even more so cannot talk to anybody about. But okay, let's get into women. Let's get into the talk before we start explaining the talk as well. The problem with women. Well, we all know the problem with women. The reality is, um, if you're lucky, you met the person you're with. I'm going to talk from a boy's perspective, all right? If you're lucky, you met I'm going to say straight boy. I don't know what it's like in the gay world. And I'm pretty sure if you're a woman, you have an easy time with everything, especially these days, right? Or namely these days, I should say. The pendulum has definitely swung hard in the other direction. And I mean, God forbid I'm someone who thinks the pendulum should just be in the middle, stop tearing. Everyone wants their turn. No one's man enough to just stop the pendulum from swinging. But anyway, if you're lucky, you met your girl in school. Well, that's probably the best case scenario. You met her in school, high school sweetheart kind of bullshit, blah, blah. You grow up, you get married together, and there's no inkling of infidelity and cheating and all that. But, that, first of all, you're going to be lucky for that anyway. Even in this ideal scenario, you're going to be lucky. And the biggest reason for that is that the worst influence on a girl is her friends, and parentheses and social media, which kind of is her friends by extension in a way. Also, her friends shoving social media influence on her face as well, like TikToks of fucking terrible women promoting terrible ideologies and stuff. Anyway, so best case scenario, that, right? Best case scenario, you meet in high school. After that, you're screwed. The end. It's that simple. After that, you are screwed. After that, women, well, like I briefly touched up on just now, women they are completely morphed by, well, social media, yes, the easy access and quick access and almost forced exposure to other women telling them things that are not good but feel good and sound good in the short term. Women are told directly by maybe their peers, maybe even their own parents or, like, their mothers, that they need to find a hot rich guy and marry him so that she can be supported for her life and not have to work. They get told by their peers and their mothers that they are 10 out of 10 women and deserve 10 out of 10 guys. They get told not to settle for an average guy who might be funny, or he might, be smart and you can have good conversations with. They're told not to value those things. They're told to take advantage of those guys, but not actually get serious with. These are things that they are told. And this reaches to them, it seems these days, at a younger and younger age. Some girls are being raised this way, so they're just screwed right out of the gates. And hey, if you're told your whole life that that's what you deserve and you can get that, that sounds nice, especially when you're younger, when you're like still developing. You're gonna eat that shit up. It's like if your parents told you can just go have ice cream whenever you want. It's the same thing. You're gonna say okay, and you're gonna love that. You're gonna embrace that. And if anyone else comes to you and tries to say you were taught wrong, you're gonna snap at them. You don't want your candy taken away. But that's what we have right now. Women are being told these awful, terrible things. They end up regretting it later on when they're in their 40s, which I'll get into. But at that point, it's too late. It's too late for them, and it's too late for us. The damage has been done. And the problem is the sheer volume of the amount of women that have bought into this kind of mentality and this life and these choices that they make. I mean, my God, I could make, a 20 fucking day long video on this alone. The reality is, I'm not gonna bother like with that. Just go look for yourself, man. You can either see it online through literal countless videos of it being an example. Anyone can show a video or two of some people being some certain way, right? But where it where it starts becoming the rule or just how things are as a default is when you have a bottomless supply of examples like this, right? When it seems most people are a certain way, or most things are X way, depending on whatever you're talking about. And this is how it is with women. They promote the idea of, sleeping around until you're 30 or maybe even 40, and then you settle down with some guy that'll take you, who can financially support you, because that's what it's all about. So listen, I'm 37 years old. I've never had a girlfriend. It's not to say I haven't been with women, but I have, in fact, never had a girlfriend. Um, which, yes, does mean, yes, I've been with women who were not single and I was not their boyfriend. I'm not proud of that, but that is part of my life history. Um, and yeah, I've only sexually been with two women ever in my life. Just to put that into perspective. I mean, I literally personally know girls that are like 19, 20 years old and they have been with double digit people, right? Like just put that into perspective. Um, and that's part of what I'm talking about. Like trust me, like this shit affects everyone. Like it reaches all women. Trust me on that. You can either take my word for it or learn it the hard way. I don't give a fuck, honestly. Um, but anyway, I mean, they are really taught this. They are taught to do this. It's empowering. They're taught by society that there's no repercussions. That's why in my first video, the random thoughts number one, I call it the Hannah Montana. It's the best of both worlds. They get to sleep around and then log down with the financially successful guy, and that's what they're taught that they are able to do. But what happened is that these guys, the stage two guys, stage one is sleep around when you're young. Stage two is when you're not young anymore and probably have kids with whoever knows however many guys. Then you find the sucker who will pay for the rest of your life, right? Those stage two guys they're not taking it anymore. But these women don't know that while they're in their stage one. And so, I mean, like I said, you can go around. Yes, social media will. I mean, the women snitch on themselves, right? They upload every part of their life, good, bad, everything in between. It's always the same thing. Women that are young. Oh, we're all the good men. By the way, they've slept with 100 guys or whatever last month. Literally, by the way, not even making that number up. We're all the good men, and what they mean by that is the 25-year-old, 6 foot tall, six pack guy that owns a business and is like a multi-millionaire, if not multi-billionaire, and has a yacht, and yet he also never has to work a day in his life, and he has all the time in the world to spend with this girl, and also he's going to be loyal to her. That's what she means by "where are the good men?" Because yeah. And this is, yeah, I know everyone's gonna listen. Not everyone, but the brainwashed people. Oh, you just sound like an incel right now. This is the reality. And yes, I say you can look it up on videos, but that's just half of it. You can also live it. You can just look out your window and see it, man. And that's where my life comes in. I have lived this my entire life. Like this is my real life experience. It gets reinforced by me looking at videos and seeing that I'm not the only one dealing with this. I never thought I'd have to say this, but yes, I've experienced my own real life experiences first. And the chicken and the egg, well, my real life experience is what came first. Obviously, don't know why I have to explain this, but a lot of people like to say, "Oh, you're just getting your opinions from other people online. You're getting them online. You're getting them from podcasters. Blah blah blah." No, this is real fucking life, dude. But you can't say that, and I've experienced that you can't say that. I mean, I'm still going to say it, but yes, the repercussions have been, my friends calling me an incel, and because of that, yes, I cut them off. Yes, I'm all right. My camera is up. I'm waving at you guys. You know who you are. Yes, I've cut you off because of that shit. And the fact is, let's be honest, you're still not even going to hold yourself accountable to that. The fact that you valued your politics slash sociopolitics slash whatever you want to call it more than you valued the legitimate struggles of your friend of 20 years that wants to kill himself. That's the truth. That is the truth. That is the truth. You valued one thing over the other. But it's not just you. My fucking my own family does it. My mom, I don't talk to her anymore. Last thing she said to me was that I deserve to be single. Yeah, I don't talk to my mom anymore. It's not just you guys. It's, if I'm going to open up and explain not just the problems in my life. I hate that I had to pay taxes again this week. No, the fact that I want to die and I've planned it out and it still doesn't matter to you. It's still an opportunity for you to virtue signal and to dismiss me, to throw me under the bus, to make yourself look and feel better. That ain't it. That ain't it. But that's not just, and it's not just you guys. I'm calling you out right now, but in reality, I'm calling out, like, quote unquote the whole world. I mean, it's not the whole world. Hell in America, we saw from this election that it's not the whole country, even that it's not the majority, but it's because let's be honest. Yes, I mean you guys like to. I'm sure. I'm sure you're gonna dismiss it, but the reality is, yes, Trump won the election. I didn't vote, by the way, but I wish I voted Trump. I do. And it's one of those cases where it's like the friend of your enemy is your friend or fucking whatever. I'm sorry, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. It's like, there you go. Like, listen, the fucking left just treats me like shit, right? Treat me like shit. You know, I'm a white man. I'm a white cisgendered straight man. Holy shit, am I just man, I mean, I don't even have to tell you. You just know straight off the bat. And I've been treated poorly because of these things about me. Because of like it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And it's like, so yeah, I don't support the left. And no, it's not everyone on the left, but it is seemingly most. Um, and then what? And then I say my problems come from women because they just want a rich guy, you know, and it's like I can't say that either. I can't express any, not just myself. I can't just not only not express myself, but you're just politically speaking, nobody is allowed to talk about the problems of the world, whether serious or casual problems. It's like, because yes, honestly, me, the fact that I will literally die alone and I will never, I'm 37 years old. I haven't, I have not, I have not physically been with a woman for about 11 years now. So, 26 years old, all the way to my death, I will never have been with a woman ever again. And in the grand scheme, that is a casual. In the grand scheme, that is a casual problem. But I'm not allowed to talk about that. But we're also not allowed to talk about other things, like serious problems, like the education system, the brainwashing that it does, transgenderism. The idea. I know. I just throwing that in there as kind of a, fuck it. I mean, it is something I feel strongly about. I know and I have some transgender friends, and my stance on it has unfortunately caused a rift between us too, because yet again, you're not allowed to talk about anything honestly. I believe transgenderism is a mental disorder. You're not, I mean, and they will tell you themselves, you're not supposed to be a transgender, right? You're not supposed to be that. They themselves define themselves as, I'm not supposed to be in this body. So obviously you're not supposed to, even by their definition, you're not supposed to be a trans. You're not supposed to be a trans. That's just, we all agree on this, and yet we can't agree. The solution is mental help, and we don't even know what that mental help looks like because we're not investigating it in that way. Instead of that, the whole fucking world, and quote unquote, not really the whole world, but like that side of that political side is focused on trying to shape the rest of the world according to the whims of trans people. We all have to bend the rules and bend over backwards to fit them, instead of them, the ones with the problem, getting proper help and figuring out what that even is. Anyway, that's, I could go further into that, but whatever. Point being, that's like a summary of how I view it, and I can't even say that without pissing people off. You know what I mean? And the fact that some people are going to listen to that and say, well, of course you pissed them off. Listen to what you just said. Yeah, that's the fucking problem. What did I just say? Well, let's look into it. I said you need help and I disagree with how you're going about it. That's what I said. And if you're offended by that, that's a you problem. That is a fucking you problem. And I am done giving a shit about it. And I'm not going to apologize for that. Because I shouldn't have to. And if you think I do have to, then you are living in Crazy Town. And I am not subscribing to this shit. Of course, at the end of the day, that means, I guess, it costs me some friendships. And, if their politics is more important to them than I am, then that's their choice. It was never my choice. Just like when I talk about women, my one problem in life that makes me suicidal, if I talk about it, again, they choose the politics over it, over how their friend of 20 years feels about it, and maybe taking them seriously. Maybe there's something to what they're saying. No, of course not. Can't have that. That goes against the agenda, that goes against the narrative. And that's part of the problem here, is that you can't have real talk. There's no such thing as real talk. Quite the opposite. There's nothing but fake talk. There's only fake talk in the world right now. And even the censorship promotes that. The fact that YouTube is going to it's going to run its automated system to listen to the words I say, and it's going to have the key words like suicide and N-word and transgender, whatever the fuck else it picks out, and it's going to decide this video cannot be seen by people, and it will either hide it or outright delete it or tell me I can't even upload it. And it's like, this is the problem. This is the problem. This is why things don't get fixed. This is why when somebody runs for president and says they're going to fix all this bullshit, people fucking vote for it, because they fucking should. And I'm glad that at least is an observable majority of people that want this shit to end. Of course, everyone will say, yeah, it's because everyone's racist and they're Nazis. No, that's not true. And it's not true. It's a disingenuous response. Completely. It's a completely disingenuous response. And what was I saying with women? What was I saying? I mean, I don't feel like I didn't even. That's the whole reason. That's the whole topic that I wanted to make this video about: suicide and women, and because women make me want to kill myself. And I feel like I haven't even talked about them. Of course, I feel like a lot of other people talk about this plenty enough. But yeah, man. And the truth is, like, I've seen everything I talk about and everything other people talk about. I've seen it. I've seen it. Not only have I just simply seen it, I can't stop seeing it. I see it all the time. I can't look away, because if I look in another direction, I just see it again. If I'm being honest, it's hard to even do anything in public. Like, I hate going to the grocery store, because everywhere I look, it's a couple. But even just going to work, everyone is married and blah, blah. Everywhere I look, it's my number one issue with my life being rubbed in my face. The fact that I'm alone. And it's not like nobody else is having the same problem as me, which is part of, at least I have the validation that a lot of people are going through the same problems as me. But like when I go out in public, go to a restaurant with like a friend or something, it's like every other table is like a couple, whether married or like two people out on a date. And it's like all of these women. And I have no choice but to see it this way, because this is the reality. This is what it is. I'm a very analytical and observant person, and there's no other way to phrase this or to put it. But going out in public, all these other women are just women that are actively pointing to me and saying, you're not good enough for me. Because of course that's what it is. Because they're not with me. And every time I try to be with somebody, I'm rejected horribly. That, of course, that's what it is. Of course. How else would you put that? Of course, people will try to put it in a nicer way, but I'm not here for the fucking snowflakes and the rainbows. Like, I'm here to see it how it is. I can't help but see it how it is, and that's how it is. When I go out in public, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's women. It's women that have all told me collectively. They've all pointed at me, laughed at me, and said, "Nah, not you. You're not good enough." Because that's what it is. Until I, if you know, until I finally get a girlfriend one day, that says, that would be. See, everyone else has their anchor. Not everyone else. Again, like I said, plenty of guys are having the troubles I'm having. In fact, most guys are having the troubles I'm having. But the guys but those guys agree with everything I'm saying. The guys that don't agree with what I'm saying, they have their anchor. They have no idea what I'm talking about. They have their good situation, their happy ending, whatever you want to call it. They have their anchor. They don't have to look at every other woman as just another woman that rejected them, even without ever having talked to them. Because they have the one that didn't. If you take that away, though, then what? Then they might understand what I'm talking about. Just take that one away. Chances are they wouldn't have been able to be with another woman. And all of a sudden their whole life changes. All of a sudden they're on the other side of this fence and they're listening to this video and they're nodding and agreeing in quiet sorrow or whatever. All of a sudden everything changes. You take away that one anchor that they managed to get in their life. They don't even understand how close they are, how close they were to being exactly like me. They're going to judge me, but they don't even understand they were one pixel away, they were one particle away from being exactly like me, exactly in my situation, I should say. Because it's not like, that's all I am. I'm just a guy in the situation, like many other guys. Because that's really just the problem. That's the whole problem. I just want one person. One person in the whole fucking world. I just want the one person that says, yeah, you're the one. You're definitely the one for me. I can't imagine being with any other guy. Just one person. I want that. And then the rest of this goes away. I don't care if every other woman looks at me like I'm the grossest guy on the planet, which they do. I just want the one that doesn't. The one that looks at me and has the opposite effect. Just one has the power to undo all of this. And the fact that I don't even get that does nothing but validate everyone else in looking at me in the horrible way. And if you don't understand that, even just fundamentally, even if you just don't, if you can't grasp the concept, or if you don't understand and accept why I feel that way, then you simply will never get it. And good for you. I'm glad you live that life. I'm glad you have your anchor. Like, women are just fucked up. I'm sorry, women are fucked up. No one has a problem saying that men were fucked up maybe 100 years ago, right? Well, guess what? Now it's the women that are fucked up. Of course, you can't say one thing, but you can say the other, because of course, we all are very familiar with the double standard of today. We all are. Whether it's sex or race, there's just double standards all over the place. Um, but yeah, like, all right. So anyway, what I was saying is, like, yes, I have had some women interested in me. Um, God forbid I reject them, right? Like, oh, if I'm in this position, then I should just take whatever's coming to me, right? No, fuck you if you're going to even suggest that. No, the truth is, the only women, though, that are ever coming to me or interested in me whatsoever are always the same type of people. And that is 40-plus-year-old single mothers. Sorry, I know it's incel of me to say I don't want a 40-plus-year-old single mother, right? And of course, this is another thing. The truth is, I would prefer a younger woman, like 18 plus. And yeah, I'm 37, and I would prefer an 18. I mean, they're not all created equally. Some of them are really immature. No, I don't want an immature person, but there are some mature people too of that age bracket. And I know, everyone then calls me a pedophile. Yes, because 18 is apparently in that range now, because we all just make up the rules as we go. Of course, if you have that actual conversation, no one can actually hold up in that conversation. Oh, you think 18's too young? All right, tell me, where do you draw the line? Because that's the question. Where do you draw the line? So let's run through that conversation hypothetically. What do they say? Because the reality is that they won't answer. They will refuse to answer because of what the following of the conversation will be. In this hypothetical of, let's say they do answer the question. Let's say they say 25 is where they draw the line. So I say to them in response, so you think anyone who is interested in a 24-year-old is a pedophile? And they'll say, no, no, because that's close enough, but blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, see, that's the problem. You drew the line in the sand, right? And like you're going to have a gray area kind of around the line, and then the further you go down away from the line that you personally drew in the sand of 25, 24, that's fine. 23, sure, I can see it. 22, oh, you're pushing it. 21, I don't know. 20, that's too far. 19, oh, what are you doing? 18, oh, you're sick. And it's like, it's that gradient scale. But the starting point is totally arbitrary. You said 25. What if I said 30? Right? I said 30, so you're saying 25. I'm calling you a pedophile now because you said 25. That's 5 years younger than what I said. And so by my standard, you're a pedo, and it just becomes stupid and meaningless. And it's this whole fucking stupid game, and it's like, shut the fuck up. If the law says 18, then let the law, what's the point of the law otherwise, right? What's the fucking point of it, And even then, I mean, we all know it's a case by case, just like it is with a 40-year-old woman. There are fucking super immature 40-year-old women. Trust me on that. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that to you. There are really immature 40-year-old women. I've personally known a lot of 20-year-old women way more mature than a lot of 40-year-old women I've known. But anyway, it's like, it's just this game. It's like people take away individuality and they start writing down these rules, but they also bend their own rules to fit their own agenda. And anyone who doesn't abide by their own invisible and modified rules is now a pedophile or whatever the topic might be. And it's just a whole fucking stupid game. Anyway, that's a side topic, a side rant, and I would like to talk about that more too. What I would like is to actually have a conversation with another person about it who is on the other side of the fence, because I don't think people on that side of the fence that are, against a guy, particularly an older guy, interested in younger women, they can't really hold that argument. They can't hold that discussion because there is no grounds to it, and it falls apart from 100 different angles. But anyway. Frankly, I mean, I'm interested from anyone from 18 to 40 or even, like mid 40s. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. That whole range, that whole fucking range. I'm fine with all of that. It obviously depends on the individual after that point. But I just don't want someone who has kids with another guy. That's basically my criteria for a woman is please be like a 5 out of 10, right? Like a 5 out of 10, and I'm not being disingenuous with that rating. I'm fine with a totally average looking girl. Most guys are. I dare even say all guys. I'll just settle for most guys are that way. Just be like under 200 pounds. I don't think that's a crazy request. And don't have kids. That's it. That's it. If you think that's high standard, high expectations, then first of all, you're crazy. But also, second of all, you might be right. In this day and age, this society, that might be too high of expectations because that doesn't really exist anymore, does it? I mean, Jesus, fucking women they'll be 16 years old. They got a body count higher than me in my whole life. That's crazy. I mean, my body count's only 2, but when you're 16, that's still crazy. Like it's just a crazy time to live in right now. Especially if you're a single guy that doesn't want to be single, you're fucked right now. You're just totally fucked. Yeah, so anyway, so that's like my criteria. That's my checklist, right? And I think that's a very lenient one. But then you look at women's checklist, it ain't good. It ain't good. It really is the cliche. You really do have to be over 6 feet tall, which what is that? That's just like a number that it's like a well-rounded, fuck it, 6 feet, right? It's based on sounding well. It's like saying, it's like rounding up to, it's like, it's like, oh, can you just, I have $13. Here you go. Can you just? I'll just take the 10. It's like you'd rather just have the well-rounded, and that's going down in the money that And it's like, but that's kind of what this feels like. Oh, women will always say, "I want a guy at least 6 foot tall." Fucking why? What's the difference between that and 5'11"? It's nothing except being able to just say that they're past that threshold. It's just ridiculous. But this is true. This is fucking true. This isn't like I've seen this in real life. It's that they say that they say they won't. I mean, they won't say this stuff. And they might say the 6 feet tall stuff, but the other stuff they won't say it. They want a guy with money. That doesn't mean you're a millionaire. Yeah, I mean, they speak in code. They won't say they want a guy with money, but they'll say ambition. He has to be ambitious. Yeah, if you wanted a guy with ambition, why aren't you crawling all over the Pac-Man world champion? Right? No one's all over that guy. Probably don't even know his name. That's an ambitious guy. He might not have made a lot of money off of it, though. Maybe that's a bad example because maybe he did make a lot of money, and maybe women are all over. I don't know. I don't actually know. But that's besides the point. The point, it's like they say ambition, but it's not. It's just code, and we all know that. I feel stupid even explaining that. I feel like I'm explaining 2 + 2 = 4. I feel like I'm explaining that the Earth is round and not flat. It's like we all fucking know that women want money, and they will never say that, but they'll say other things like, oh, ambition. That's the biggest one, right? Is they'll say he needs to be ambitious. Fuck you. You don't care about ambition. You don't care about ambition. Or if he's growing his YouTube channel, for example, right? You don't care about that unless he's already successful from it and has money from it, like he's PewDiePie or something. Then you'll care. Then you'll care. That's another part of the problem, right? Is everyone's always looking for, these women are always looking for men who already, crossed the finish line. They want a guy who's already successful. He's already hot. He's already these things. He's already this, already that. They are never looking to grow with someone. They don't look for someone who has a good base, a good core. This guy is funny and smart, and I get along well with him. He's nice. He treats me well. He's thoughtful. He's romantic. They don't care about any of these fucking things I'm listing right now, and I could keep going with more things they don't give a fuck about. It's kind of like, I mean, that's my biggest quality is I'm funny. You could say my second biggest is I'm romantic. And I'm thoughtful, and I think about these things, and I do clever things, and I can make a woman feel special. But that's when they friend zone you because me, a guy, I'm doing these things, to try to get them to like me because that's not how it works. A woman either likes you immediately or they're never gonna. They're always looking for the guy at the finish line. If you're funny, you don't get women because you're funny. If you're funny, that's good if you are also already rich and hot. If you are the guy they are interested in already, then being funny is extra credit. But being funny never earns you points. Being smart, romantic, thoughtful, none of that shit earns you points. At best, they are a tiebreaker among other hot and or rich guys. Nobody ever got a girl just because they're funny, but not successful and not hot. Just being funny, just being romantic, just being all of these things combined doesn't get you anywhere. You still have 0 points. You still have 0 points, my good sir. Hit the gym. get promoted. That's how you get a girl. You want an edge over other people that go to the gym and get promoted, then you can be funny. Then you can be romantic. Then you can be thoughtful and nice and considerate. You can break the tie with those qualities, but you can't actually gain points in the first place with them. That's just true. I have lived that. That of all things is what I have lived the most in my life. If you're funny, you're friend zoned. Because what? All these qualities, think about it like this. It's people say this all the time and it's true. It's like a transaction. If you're funny, a woman can get all of that out of you without ever committing to you. If you're funny, guess what? You can just be the funny friend. Why does she have to come home with you? Why does she have to, you know, eat dinner with you and spend time with you and all, you know, to get the funniness out of you? She doesn't. She doesn't. She can hang out with you and some other friends to, you know, dilute the waters a little bit, and you can be funny there. You know, you're a clown. Put on the show. You know, dance, monkey, dance. That's what the funny guy is. Especially if you're like me and that's your best asset, if that's your best quality, you're screwed. Then that's all you are, is the dancing monkey. Thanks for being funny. Okay, I'm gonna go home with Chad now. He's gonna ram my brains out. He's gonna get me pregnant and then leave me, and then I'm gonna cry about where all the good men. Thanks for being funny that one time. That's the reality. I know. Just another thing you can't say these days, but it's the fucking reality. Get the fuck over it. I'm saying to you, get the fuck over it, even though I want to fucking kill myself over it. And yet I stand by it. Get the fuck over it. What was I talking about? Money, women wanting money. There's a gradient. There's a, you know, it's a spectrum. It depends on the individual of what they want. They might want the millionaire actually, but maybe they don't want that. Maybe they want someone who's just simply, they have enough money where the woman doesn't have to work, because that's what it ends up being about, you know, or where they can work less, you know. Not all of them are totally greedy, but they're still greedy in this regard where it's important, right? And this is true. I've seen this shit like in my own life. And that's in my own life. Hell, my own family, all right? My mother, all right? My own mother. Yes, the one that said I deserve to be single. Well, guess what she did in her life? My father, well, she was with someone else first. She was actually getting married to this other person first. She was actually, I think she was at the altar first. And she ran out to go be with my dad. Blah, blah. That plays out. They get married. They have 2 kids. Me and my brother. In reverse order. And then what? Well, and then she leaves my dad for my former stepdad. Possibly cheated on my dad. Who knows? We don't know. We can speculate. But very possibly. And so she goes to my former stepdad, whom had a lot of money. My stepdad, I don't actually know who divorced who at that point, my stepdad or my mom. I don't know who divorced who in that relationship. That was a divorce as well. And well, this is real talk, and I really just don't give a fuck. I'll tell you what happened. It might not be my place to do so, but I'm gonna do it anyway because you can tell, right? I just don't give a fuck. What happened was, and my mom might be asexual, I'm not sure. But I can tell you one thing, she was with him. So that's what ended up happening. So I do fault my stepdad to a degree, but I think my stepdad cheated on my mom. And just think about that. I just said that, and I don't even fault my stepdad, like not too much. Of course, there's better ways to handle this. And I never support cheating, particularly, particular, uh, bad taste or scars about it or whatever you want to call it. Who cares? But anyway, but that being said, I mean, my mom was just inactive completely with my stepdad. Yeah, yes, which does mean I was told this. I was told this. She was completely inactive with him, which hey, I mean that fits the whole story that she got with the guy with money but didn't really like him, right? This is my own mom. So she leaves one guy for the other guy that was, I guess, more attractive, which would be my dad. Um, and then my dad doesn't have enough money for her, so she leaves him for the guy with money. But then my mom's not attracted to the guy with money, and she gets divorced. And you know what she's doing after that, and what she's doing now? She left. She lives in another state now, isolated, not looking at men, and her stance is, "Nah, I'm done with men." Because of course she is, right? When the attractive guy didn't have the money, and then the money guy didn't have the attractiveness, yeah, I guess you're just gonna say, well, fuck men, right? Because of course, that's the cliche. That's my own mother. Let's go to my stepmother. Way less of a story. I don't know her. I don't know her life story. The only thing I do know is that the person she was with before my dad, which is who my dad is with right now, by the way, my stepmother here. The person she was with beforehand, he had a lot of money. And then when she got with my dad, well, my dad had a lot of money. So both people that she was with, they both had a lot of money. And yeah, I'm sure, their response would be, "What are you saying that my wife doesn't love me, blah, blah, blah?" Listen, I don't care. I don't care. If the answer is yes or no, maybe she grew to love you after you already qualified. I don't care. But ask yourself this, and this goes to everyone. Turn to your left, turn to your right, whatever side your girl's on. Would she be with you if you're making $7 an hour at McDonald's? Just a yes or no, please. I don't care about your cope. I don't care about your yapping that you attach onto it. Just a yes or no. And don't tell me, don't answer it for me. Just you think on that. You tell yourself what your answer is, yes or no. No yapping, no random attachments and explanations, right? Because that's the fucking cope land that you guys all love to live in. Just ask yourself yes or no. Would she be with you if you're making $7 an hour at McDonald's? Yes or no. Anyway, oh, my stepsister, or I'm sorry, not stepsister. I can actually get into them as well. I meant to say though, my half sister, my half sister, which is my mom and stepdad's side. Well, I've only ever seen her with college kids with money. Kids with that are from families with money. That's the only guys I've ever known her to be with. She herself is, she was in college. I think she graduated. She was in college to be a lawyer. Blah blah blah. Now she's only getting with guys that have money. And then my stepsisters, I got two of them. One of them, same thing. Only ever got with college kids with money. She married a college kid with money. Um, and then and then with my other stepsister, honestly, I think she's the only different story. Um, but I'll reserve judgment on that. I'm not going to make a call one way or the other because I don't know enough about her story. I don't think she was the type to get with the money guys, but she might have been the type to always get with the hot guys, and that's all that mattered. And like I said, I mean, I also at least want a girl to be like a 5 out of 10, but when I say 5 out of 10, I mean 5 out of 10. What women want is a 10 out of 10. And they mean it. They'll say that and they'll mean it. But they'll also say that they themselves are a 10 out of 10 when they are, in fact, definitely not. I mean, that's part of the whole woman delusion problem that we have. Every woman thinks they're a 10 out of 10, which means, because they're all told that by everyone all their lives. So it's actually not even their fault. I mean, you still, hold them accountable for choosing to believe the lie. But, like, at the same time, the whole world is telling them that they're a 10 out of 10. So what does that mean? It means every woman thinks they're a 10 out of 10. So, of course, every woman thinks they deserve the 10 out of 10 guy. But the reality is that there's not... If 100% of the women are going after 10% of the guys, that doesn't work out mathematically. But that is also what we see. We see all of women chasing after the same few guys. That's why all of the women are with the same few guys, and they're always crying, saying, oh, I got cheated on, oh, blah, blah, where are all the good men? Well, the fact is, you don't give a fuck about the good men. You just want the top attractive men or rich men who might not be good men at all. And yeah, men are part of the problem. Yes, I acknowledge that. Trust me, I'll say that. I'll say that. But the truth is, it's much less of them that are the problem. But yeah, they are part of the problem. I was listening to some statistics, actually. This is going to be attacking both women and men. So, starting with the women, apparently, OnlyFans models, which is at bare minimum posing like bikini pictures of yourself online, right? But in reality, it's usually going to be nudes. And in a lot of cases, maybe most cases, I don't actually know, but at least in a lot of cases, it's actually like prostitution. They will be paid by their subscribers to go meet up and, have sex. And that's OnlyFans on the women's side. So, statistically, I'm not sure if it was more or less, but a comparable amount of women are doing OnlyFans compared to the amount of women that are in nursing. And nursing is apparently, it was like the number one most employed job by women, or maybe it was like number 2. I don't know, something like that. But to say, like, doing OnlyFans was a comparable number. It was higher than the number 3. I remember that much. OnlyFans was higher than the number 3 employment of women. So that's how many women are doing. Like, that's a crazy statistic. Because that's sex work. That's sex work. And I'm bringing this up because, my family, my parents, my dad, it's my, don't talk to my mom. My dad and my grandparents, they'll say, oh, you just got to meet the right woman. They don't understand that most women are fucked up and they're corrupt now. That's how it is. That's how it is now. No, it wasn't always like that, but it's been a growing problem with the rise of, feminism and being told that all these awful things are actually great. Sleep around. It's empowering. All this bullshit. Be a whore. It's empowering. And then they're told all this. And so there are, in fact, where are all the good women? That's what should be getting asked. Where are all the good women? And yeah, there are some. Yes, I know that. But it's not as many as you want to think it is. And the reality is, guys aren't doing this. There are some shitty guys, but it's not like there's like the same amount of guys that are whoring around, and then you guys can all match together as a bunch of whores. No, it's good men, way disproportionate to good women. There's way more good men, and I know you can't say that in today's society, but that's the truth. That's why so many men are fucking in shambles. Is because you can't just go out and meet women, and that's part of it. So remember how earlier I said, like, oh, if you don't meet your girl like while you're in school, you're fucked. That's part of why. Where do you meet someone? Go ahead, tell me. Where do you meet someone? What, at the bar? Yeah, then you're gonna meet a fucking hoe who's always at the bar hooking up with guys. Can't do that. My grandma likes to say, "Oh, go to the library." It's like, bitch, this isn't fucking 1850. You don't just go to the library and meet a woman. Like that's fuck. It's just it's so detached from reality to even say that. I hope I don't even have to explain why that's not a real option. I really hope I don't have to. Um, that's how you get banned from a library. And remember, you know the golden rule. If you're attractive, anything you do is okay. But if you're not the 10 out of 10 Chad, then the simplest of actions gets you reported to the police, right? That's true. I've seen that. I have seen it firsthand in person from my own self. You know, like I said, I've been told ew gross when I ask someone out before. It's just not good. And the reality is, I'm gaining weight and I'm losing hair. Of course, I'm losing hair actually because I'm picking at it. Like if I'm sitting in my computer chair, I just, one hand on the mouse, other hand picking at my scalp, just because it's like a fidget, it's like biting my nails. But fact is, I'm losing my hair. I don't look good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't look good. I was getting in the shower the other day, this week, like maybe 2 days ago, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "Holy fuck." Women already reject me on sight. If they saw me naked, I'd have no chance. I'd be fucking put in prison. You know what I mean? Not because like that came out wrong. Like I'm just walking around naked. Of course I'd go to prison. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like holy shit! If like they already reject me when I'm fully clothed, right? They don't even know what I look like in this state of nakedness, right? Like how it's like, oh, the worst she can say is no. Absolutely not. The worst she can say is when you get naked, you manage to get a date with someone, maybe a few, and then you go to her place or whatever. You get naked, and then she starts fucking laughing at you. How about that one? I'll take the no any day. Yeah, like, or she throws up. Imagine but that's what I look like, man. And they don't even know that. Women don't even know that, and they already reject me. So here's the thing. It's like people also like to say, "Oh, you just don't have any confidence." No, bitch, I have a lot of confidence. I know what I have and I know what I don't have. I'm a realist. You know, I know what I have and I know what I don't have. The problem is that I have all these great qualities, blah blah. I can count them to 100, but I don't have. I'm not tall, I'm not rich, not hot. That's it. Those are the only ones they give a fuck about. You want to talk about confidence? I'll tell you all about confidence. Confidence doesn't change the outcome. It changes how the outcome is delivered. If you approach a woman and she already knows what she's going to say to you, right? She already knows if you're hot or not. She already knows if you have money or not, right? Clothes you wear, the shoes you're wearing, maybe the car you drove, etc. They can tell the two things that matter right off the bat. Okay. So let me tell you about confidence. If you don't qualify as someone she's interested in, you approach her without confidence, she will reject you without confidence. She will reject you kind of, softly, quietly, awkwardly, and you both leave the situation awkwardly because you didn't have confidence. So let me tell you about confidence. You know what having confidence does? She will reject you confidently. It won't be awkward because you're not socially awkward. You're confident, blah, blah, blah. And then therefore that vibe, that energy, all these stupid words, that will all rub off on her. She will be confident. She will not be awkward. She'll be assertive in her rejection of you. That's what confidence does. I know this because I am confident. I am not socially awkward. I can remain calm and cool when I'm approaching people or just in general. That's how I am. I am a very confident and assertive person. Confidence never gained me any traction, never gave me an advantage. It just changes how I get rejected. Let me tell you about confidence. That's what confidence does. It changes how you get rejected or accepted. It changes how the result that you are already were going to get, how it happens. That's all that confidence does. That's the truth. So don't pull your hair out getting rejected saying, damn it, was I really not confident enough? I thought I was. I thought I thought it was funny. I thought I was remained calm and cool and collected. And you probably did. You probably managed it. Confidence doesn't actually change the result. I already told you what changes the result. Go to the gym, work out, get ripped, and get promoted. Have money. Work on your career. That's what gets you that's what will get you the result that you want, not confidence, not other good qualities. You had to cross the finish line before you can get accepted. Another thing people like to tell me, I must get rejected because I'm so negative. It's so stupid. It's like, yes, I'm negative right now when I'm talking about the situation. I'm alone in my room recording a video, or I'm on the phone with my family and I'm venting about the situation. And no, I'm not optimistic about it. But that doesn't mean I approach women and I'm negative. I don't approach women like, you would probably reject me, but you want to go, it's no, I approach women, I'm my normal self. I'm funny. It's at, like, I mean, that's my strongest quality. I'm, like I said, I'm confident, I'm funny, but I am visibly not attractive and I am visibly not, financially well off. Done. That's over. It has nothing to do with I'm negative. It's just so stupid. It's like getting punched in the face and then yelling at someone because they punched you in the face and they're like, well, you probably got punched in the face because you're yelling at them. It's like, no. Oh my god, it's so stupid and frustrating, but that's all people will tell you because they have nothing good to say to you. They have no actual advice because the real answers, the things that I've been talking about, go against the narrative and the agenda, so they can't really give you the real answer. So they had to make something up, and once you're at the point of where you're making some bullshit up, it's gonna be stupid. So it's of course they tell me it's because I'm too negative. Of course they tell me because I'm not confident. Of course they tell me these things that don't actually hold up because they can't actually tell me the real thing. Again, can't talk about anything. Can't talk about anything because the answers you're gonna get are always gonna be bullshit. Can never have real talk. No such thing as real talk around here. But yeah, it has nothing to do with the things that you'll get told. It's that you got to be a 10 out of 10. You got to have at least six figures. They'll tell you that themselves. They will tell you that themselves. How much does a guy have to make to date you? Oh, at least 200K. Like how much they had to make a year. And it's like they might even say a month, and it's it's just it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And the truth is, women are able to live in that world because in this point in time in our history of human beings, all of this. I mean, this is kind of especially with like OnlyFans and stuff like that. The truth is, the only thing a woman ever has to do in her life is look pretty. A woman can literally, her job can be going to the gym. She can wake up in the morning, she's going to the gym, she's recording it, she's sharing it online, and then after that, she's spending the rest of her day going to five-star restaurants, showing pictures of that, blah, 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 and then partying at night, and then going to bed and repeating the process. That's all a woman ever has to do is look good, one way or another. Maybe, whether you're posting it online or not, but if you're not, then fine, you just find some guy to latch on to. All a woman has to do in life is look good. That's it. If she does that, her life is made. She is done. She beat the game. A guy has to. A guy has to do everything, including look good. A guy has to look good and also work hard and blah blah. Do everything else that is part of life as well. Women just have it on easy mode. They do. Again, you can't say that in today's world, but I'm saying it because I don't give a fuck. I'm not bound by your shackles. I'm saying it. It's real talk, baby. Here we are. But anyway, so what I was saying is, so my attack on men is why the fuck are you stupid idiots giving these women money? Why? Why? What are you doing? You're enabling them to do this. So many of these problems for all of us guys would be remedied if you just weren't paying for the livelihood of these women to be degenerates. You guys are doing this. So it's not just the top fucking 1% chads that are tall, rich, ripped, and hot, and have the yachts and the businesses that are whoring around all the women and misleading all of the women and leading them on, and you're just taking advantage of them. Yes, you guys are part of the problem too, but volume wise, all of you stupid guys that are pathetic and are fucking giving these women money for like their OnlyFans or whatever else, even like to sleep with you and all that shit, you're just you wouldn't even have to do that if you weren't doing that. It's so crazy to think about. If you weren't doing that, you wouldn't have to do that to get a woman. But you have contributed to the creation of this environment. Um, anyway, I'm catching myself just kind of rambling on in a random direction on this topic. I really wish that I could craft like a compilation of the problem of women, um, and present it. But if I'm being honest, I really don't need to. You can go and look at this. You can see this yourself. I mean, yes, like I said, you can see this in real life. But if you're blind to it in real life for one reason or another, like you already have your girlfriend that you got in school, or whatever. Maybe not. Maybe you finagled it some other situation. Reality is you got lucky, and you probably know you got lucky. But in either case, if you don't see it in real life because you have a good situation, and so therefore you aren't trying to, you're not thrown out into the wilderness trying to, find a good woman on your own from scratch, like I am and a lot of other people, most other people even. If you're not in that situation, you can see this, yes, online. You can see it online. Because, like I said, if you're blind to it in real life, then how are you going to see it in real life? You know, you can see this shit online and see what I'm talking about. Yeah, they call it red pill, I guess. Which, of course, even that, like I was talking about the word incel, how it gets mutated and all this and misused. Yes, same with the red pill. That also gets mutated and misused. But the reality is, the core of it is very simple. It is exactly like the Matrix that it is referencing in itself. It is, you have blue pill and red pill. Yes, I'm red pill, meaning I see the world as it really is. I'm not taking the blue pill. I'm not seeing the fantasy land where men and women are equal and everything is sunshine and rainbows. That's the blue pill. And that's what a lot of you guys really are. And maybe some of you are there by choice. Maybe you have taken a piece of the red pill and you said, no, fuck no, I don't want to live there. I'm going to take the blue pill, and you forced it on yourself. But I can't do that. I don't have that luxury. I wish I could. But I can't live in ignorance. It's like if you know 2 plus 2 is 4, you can't sit there and blissfully say 5 all day because you just know that you're wrong. Um, so, yeah, I don't know. Kind of disappointed in this recording because but of course it was going to be that way, right? Because like I just hit the start recording button and I started talking for like, what are we on, an hour, maybe more? I don't even know. Of course, that's pre-edit. Pre-edit, we are on 1 hour and 10 minutes. Um, but anyway, I wish I could just. Oh yeah, and actually, I was gonna say there's probably a lot of things I wanted to say in here, but I totally forgot by the time I started. By the time I got off work and sat down and hit the record button. Um, Part of the reason I wanted to make this, I had an idea, we're back to suicide. I wanted to plan it out where this would kind of like be my note. Because I thought about it and I've been back and forth on this. Do I leave a note or do I not? Now, the problem is, and part of this is why why I'm still alive today. It's like my impulse. It's like, for example, my impulse to, you see a stupid YouTube comment. Most people have the wisdom to just leave it be and not touch it. I have the compulsion to always try to, explain to people why they're wrong. I have that problem. It's a personal problem, but it might be why I'm alive today. Because if I were to kill myself and leave a note, if I don't articulate it perfectly and concisely, and it's a completely perfect combination of words, then I know people will misuse it. And I won't be around to correct it or defend myself. Additionally, if I don't leave a note, then my action will be completely dismissed as, oh, he was mentally ill and he just kind of did it randomly. Look, he didn't even leave a note. He wasn't even thinking anything. He didn't do it for any reason. So it's like no matter what I do, it's a lose-lose. People will just misuse the situation entirely. And I wouldn't do it to sending a message anyway. I would just do it to get the fuck out of this world because I really, in fact, that's usually my number one planned note is the words, "Just get me the fuck out of here." That would probably be my note if I ever did it. Or, as my new idea is, do it in form of a video like this, where I explain everything. And that's why I'm disappointed with this recording, because I don't feel like I've done that. I don't feel like I've perfectly articulated the problem. And the reality is, I'm never going to be able to, because I have 37 years of misery. My earliest memory, like I said, remember how I said I haven't been happy since I was 5 years old? Well, that is actually an accurate statement. Now, I in general don't have good memory, and then when I go down the story of my life, it's even fuzzier. But I know that I was fine with life up to about 4 years old, right? I remember sitting on the couch watching Barney, and I was content. I liked it. I knew my brother was in school. I don't even know how he felt about it, but I know that my time was coming. I wasn't particularly looking forward to it, but I didn't even know why. I didn't know what to expect. And then what? The day comes, I'm going to kindergarten, buddy. Well, it wasn't a good time. It was not a good time. I had glasses, which right off the bat means I'm getting bullied. I'm getting treated like a weirdo, like an outsider. It's kindergarten. It's kindergarten. Everyone's a kid. Everyone's child. Everyone's a child. Everyone's immature. It's not like it has to make sense that the kid with glasses gets bullied, right? That's what it is. Um, I remember I'm wearing glasses. Well, to try to fix the problem, there was a period of time where they had me wear an eye patch during school. Yeah, you can imagine how that went. I remember in kindergarten, as early as kindergarten, I liked girls. I remember I would cheat on tests to help the girl I was sitting next to. I had a huge crush on her. And the teacher always blamed me for the cheating. She thought I was doing it because I guess I staged it that way to make it look like I was cheating, but in reality, I was telling her all the answers. And I took it. I just took it. I said, "Yep, it was me. It was me." Yeah, the girl never gave a shit about me. She had no problem using me for the answers, though. Uh, yeah, listen to what you're saying. You're talking about a kindergartner. Of course they're not. Like, it's like, but this is what I mean, though. It's like as early as 5 years old, I was never shit to women. I remember in fifth grade, I have a memory of over here we were like, I don't know, in recess or aftercare, playing, games out in the field with everyone and like waiting in line to do whatever it is the hell we were doing. And like I was behind like a few of the girls that, well, mostly one girl I had a crush on at that time. And she was, gossiping with her friends, like, oh, I think so and so is cute. I like this. And they were my friends. They were friends in my friend circle, right? That they were talking about. And they named every single person but me. And I was a distinct part of that circle. And it was just, oh, Nick was cute. Oh, and Robert, blah, blah, blah. And it's, just totally, I was not a person. I was not even mentioned. I wasn't even mentioned. Like, what about him? Oh, ew, no. Not even that. I didn't even get that. I was just not a mention. And yeah, you can sit there and say, maybe they saw you were there. They didn't want. No, shut the fuck up. The thing is, like, you can always say, well, what if this innocent excuse? But I'm 37 years old. How many years of this are you going to keep coming up with an innocent excuse? The truth is, and I don't need to convince you because I'm tired of the disingenuous arguments, the truth is I'm just invisible. I'm just invisible. Tale as old as time. Women have always wanted Chad. And I have personal recollection of it for my entire life. The thing is, I'm not interested in the disingenuous conversation. I know the truth, and I know that everyone else knows the truth. I'm not here for a conversation. I'm here to get this shit off my chest, because if I don't, I'm gonna explode, and I think we both know what I've established already, what that might mean is. That was not the most well-structured sentence that I've ever said. And yeah, I wish I could take the blue pill. If I could take the blue pill, I would already not be single. I'd be with someone, I'd probably be a lot happier. But the truth is, I don't live in the blue pill fantasy. So those that have been interested in me, particularly in my later years of life, I know that the only reason is because that I'm the sucker that they thought was going to be ready and willing to commit to them, even though they already had kids with other guys, and they already had their fun in their youth. And now that they're not young anymore, they're ready for a guy like me. Whereas if they were young, they would just do the same thing they already did when they were young, and they would ignore me yet again. And that's the truth. I can't prove that in a court of law, but I can prove it in a court of logic. And the truth is, people are not unique. All right? Again, this goes against the grain, I know. But people are not unique. There is a finite number of archetypes of people. I fit one, you fit one, we all fit one. And we have all met all of these archetypes in our lives. How do I know that the 40-year-old woman with kids with other guys that's interested in me would have ignored me in her life if we were both young and met each other? Because she has already done it with all the other guys that she did meet in her life that were my archetype, that were just like me. That's the cold truth that nobody wants to say. She already ignored me. Her and the other one and the other one, and they were all these 40-plus-year-old single women that have children with other guys that are interested in me. They've all already ignored me when they were young. I cannot swallow the blue pill and accept a relationship with them when I know that they don't actually give a shit about me. And that's something I mentioned in my first video, the random thoughts number one. That I got a lot of heat from my friends of 20 years that I no longer talk to. And so I say today, yes, still at 37 years old, yeah, I'm still more interested in young women. And you know what the reason for that is? Yeah, waiting for everyone to get out their sarcastic bullshit out of the way. But the reason, and this reason diminishes in value every day, but the reason would be because the younger they are, the more options they have, correct? So if I am the person that they decide is the one for them when they're young, that means a lot more. Instead of them sleeping around with 100 guys until they're 30 or 40, and then they look at me where it doesn't have any meaning whatsoever. I'm going to prefer it where it has the most meaning possible, and that is when they are younger. It also means if they're younger that they have had less time to be corrupted by today's influence. The unfortunate thing is, like I just said a moment ago, this effect, both of these effects, dwindle more and more every day because these women are getting corrupted much earlier at this point. So there's just no options anymore. And I mean, if we're being honest, like no young woman is ever going to look at me. Like I said, I'm 37 years old. If it was going to happen, surely it would have happened by now. It's called pattern recognition. And if 37 years is not long enough for someone to detect a pattern, then there's something wrong with you. Yeah, so a video like this, I was thinking about just having that be like my suicide note. But like I said, disappointed in my ability to craft the perfect note, even in video form, even when it takes a fucking hour. Of course, the longer it takes, the more imperfect it is because it's not concise. But anyway, at the end of the day, you can either look out your window or look in front of you and see this shit in person, or if you're blind to it because you're blessed, um, if you're blind to it because you're blessed with a good situation, then you can find it online. There's literally a bottomless supply of examples. And again, this wouldn't be to form your opinion based off podcasts and the words of other people, but it's me telling you that my own life is, in fact, reflected in videos like that. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this video is gonna. It's the same problem as leaving that suicide note that gets misused. Um, it's just gonna be the same thing. So it's like I can't talk to people in real time because there's no genuine conversation, and I can't even talk into the void because people will. I mean, I say people will listen and misuse it. Most people won't even listen to this. If you have even listened to this whole thing, then I guess thank you for listening. But like, but not thank you if you're just gonna misuse it. but but it's I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's like you can't talk to people and you can't not talk to people, or you can't like talk into the air like I'm doing here. The really only thing you can do is, I guess, like I just said on accident, is not talk to people. It's the only play. And that's why, well, that's why suicide rates have gone up because they open their mouth and nothing comes out. When they move their lips, just a bunch of gibberish. No, but like actually, like people are just muted. No one's listening. No one cares. People have no voice, and no fucking wonder suicide rates for men are up a lot, record numbers, etc. No fucking wonder. And if you pretend like you wonder, then you're just not paying attention on purpose, burying your head in the sand, which is the frustrating thing about all of this. So no one has a fucking voice. No one has a fucking voice on it.